And we're live.
How's it going, folks? This is Len Testa from TouringPlans.com. I'm here with Brian McNichols and Guy Selga. We're here to talk about the news that Disney just dropped in the last 30 minutes regarding
8:40 Eastern.
8:40 Eastern, the common time at which all newsworthy events happen, about what's happening with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, what's happening with other fall festivals like Food and Wine, and things like H2O Glow Nights. So let's get started with the bad news first, and that is that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is canceled for 2020. Disney's reasoning for this was, and I think this is pretty clear, when you look at what the Halloween Party signature offerings are, the parades, the fireworks, the candy, there's really no way to do all of those things in a responsible, socially distant way.
The character meets. I mean,
Exactly.
everything they do at the Halloween party is right now non grata.
Right, exactly. So they can't do any of that. That's a shame. Also, water park H2O Glow Nights canceled for the remainder of 2020. That maybe not be as much of a surprise because the water park's not actually open yet. So that's okay. But the good news, if you're me, is if you ever wanted Food and Wine to both overlap with Flower and Garden and start in July, man, this is your year. Brian, what is this, July 15th?
July 15th. It is a Taste of Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, which they say they have cooked up a creative, modified festival experience and their longest festival yet.
It's going to run through the fall, and so that's
July 15th and continue through the fall.
Through the fall. Okay, so let me just point out, and Guy, you can back me up on this. Fall ends December 21st, right? We could literally have 6 months of Food and Wine this year. July, August, September, October, November, December. We could have 6 months of Food and Wine. I'm in favor of this. I'm super excited about it.
I mean, there might as well at this point.
Did you notice that that the announcement that Disney made also says, hey, if you missed the Flower and Garden topiaries or the merchandise, we're going to have plenty of that available as well. And the translation for that is, we've got boxes of stuff in warehouses that we need to unload. Please buy it.
Yeah, it would be, if it ran to the equivalent day that it did last year. Food and Wine ran until November 23rd. So right. that the equivalent day of that this year would be November 22nd. If it ran to that would be 130 days that it would run, or about 36% of the year.
So July, August, September, October, November. July to August, September, October. Yeah, you're right. 130 days. If I'm Disney, I'm just saying through the fall means till the third week of December. Let's just do it. If there's any year where precedent and normal rules go out the window, this year is that year. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they think they figured out a way to do Food and Wine with the relative safety, and they could not figure that out with Mickey's Not So Scary, which, like you said, is not a surprise. Right. But I think they couldn't figure out a lot of stuff, so they were just like, hey, who wants Food and Wine for the rest of the year?
Let's do it. Let's just get it started. So it does a couple of things. One, it boosts attendance into Epcot, which they're going to need. But Guy, let me ask you this question. You've been to Food and Wine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For most people, I think, or for many people like me, Food and Wine is the thing I do after I go to another park.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
I don't show up at Epcot at 8 o'clock in the morning on an extra magic hour morning day. Not that they have those anymore, but I don't show up at Epcot at 9 a.m. thinking, okay, I'm going to do Food and Wine through dinner tonight. It's something I do like Animal Kingdom, take a nap, go to Food and Wine. But with the park reservation system, which I expect to be announced tomorrow, by the way, with the park reservation system, how is that going to affect the ability to get into Food and Wine?
I'm wondering if people will be skittish to go into restaurants and sit down and have a meal, so they'll be more likely to go to a Food and Wine booth. And reserving food to pick it up might be a little clogged, and there might be longer waits. So I could see Food and Wine be appealing in that case.
Right. Plus, it's outdoors, and you could do social distancing there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah,
a
I
great
actually
point.
just had this conversation with my wife. We were talking about the weekend and if we wanted to do anything. And I'm in Pennsylvania. Some of the counties here have started to allow indoor dining up to whatever it is, 50% capacity, something like that, with spacing. We were talking about whether we were comfortable dining indoors yet, and we kind of landed on no, not really. So that actually makes a ton of sense. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I read too much about this stuff, and the transmission rate indoors, even, a lot of it seems to depend on which way the ventilation is blowing, and if you're downwind from someone that happens to be infected. It's outdoor just seems to be a little bit less risky if we're going to take risks, and I'm asthmatic, so I'm not 100% looking to go take risks. So
Good point.
But so that makes a lot of sense. Like I might also be willing to, go stand by a garbage can by myself and eat like I would at Food and Wine.
Exactly. The other thing they mentioned with Food and Wine, no Eat to the Beat concerts here is, again, not entirely surprising, because you have a bunch of people sitting together in a even in an open environment, but a bunch of people sitting together in those seats, probably not the best thing. I will say that probably doesn't bode well for Candlelight Processional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning at the bottom of the blog post that Disney just put out, they do mention Candlelight Processional and Festival of the Holidays, and they're monitoring the
TBD.
the new environment closely. So basically, to be determined.
Right.
Yeah, and I wonder, I honestly wonder with like the Eat to the Beat, I wonder if they were also worried about getting the acts to come too.
Another good point. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be hard to get. I mean, not for nothing, but some of those acts are getting up there in age.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure the members of ELO have all qualified for retirement. And I say ELO as a shout out to Brad or Huber on our team, who's a huge ELO fan, apparently. So,
I did not know
you, Brad.
that.
He's a huge ELO fan. Yeah. There you go. So,
I'm pretty sure Starship and Mickey Thomas are not exactly looking to put themselves in risk.
Exactly. Mickey's in the susceptible age group, right? Is that everything for the announcements? Have we touched on all the topics?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this I mean, there's literally it is a weird day because there had been rumblings that Disney was going to announce possibly. Len mentioned he expects the reservation news soon. We had heard some rumblings about that. The dining reservations for the hotel openings, which are coming up.
So I actually made those today.
Right? Did you?
I made them today. So there's a special 407 number to call. You have to give your hotel reservation before you can book an ADR. But the interesting thing is they'll let you book an ADR at a restaurant in a hotel for which you don't have a reservation, as long as you have a hotel reservation. So, for example, I'm staying at Bay Lake next week. I was able to make a reservation at the Poly. But here's the funny thing. So I was talking to a cast member on this, and he said, just a reminder, if you're going to use Disney transportation to go from the Poly, from Bay Lake to the Poly, allow an hour and a half each way. And I paused. I'm like, am I swimming? I'm like, what? An hour and a half for transportation? And he's like, well, there's no direct resort-to-resort transportation. It goes through Disney Springs. And I said, but isn't there a monorail?
Is the monorail not working now?
And he said, we haven't heard yet about the monorail. And then we had a good laugh. And I said, I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're all going to learn together on June 22nd, like whether the monorail is running.
I mean, if the pathway to the Grand Floridian is open, you can walk there in under an hour.
I was saying, like if that bridge is open, I could walk that way to the Poly and it'd be faster than an hour and a half, because that's 3 hours round trip going through Disney Springs. That was a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So the resort, some of the resorts, DVC resorts and Fort Wilderness open June 22nd, which is what, Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
And then the parks begin opening July 11th. So we had kind of been hearing well, actually, yesterday I had heard that they were going to make some announcements and then decided to wait. And then today we heard they might make some announcements and then nothing. And then all of a sudden, legitimately 8:40 p.m. Eastern time, they dropped a blog post announcing they were canceling the Halloween party.
BT dub.
Yeah. So weird times. I cannot wait to see what like 6 p.m. on Friday brings.
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm expecting to hear more about the reservation system, and preview dates for park openings. Like I'm expecting there to be annual pass holder or DVC preview dates for the parks. Not like 2 weeks of them, but maybe a few days.
Kind of like Universal did, where it's like a day or two kind of thing.
Day or two in advance, exactly what I expected. So, and speaking of that, I went to Disney Springs yesterday. Did I tell you guys?
No.
I had dinner at Morimoto. It was delicious.
How did it seem? Like,
it was fine. So 100% mask compliance at Disney Springs. In fact, there was the only time that we saw somebody without a mask. There was this couple who had taken their masks off to do a selfie in front of the Lego store, and security was like this on them, and said, gotta wear the masks. And they explained that they were doing their selfie. They did their selfie really quick, and security was like making sure that no one was near them, and then that was it. And but then security said afterwards, like, you got to wear the mask, like, don't do this again. Wow. So that was good. Yeah, but they were on it like that. Looked really, really good. And then all the restaurants looked socially distant. They're about 33% full. But man, it was funny because I was walking through Disney Springs and Laurel commented like. I know it's a pandemic and things are very, very bad, but it's actually very pleasant at Disney Springs right now with the low crowds and everything open. It was great. The other interesting thing was the way the stores are managing social distancing. So generally they're doing it one of two ways. A store will have a sign that says, 4 people are allowed in this store at a time. If you see more than 4 people in the store, don't come in. Other stores have a cast member directly outside, an employee outside, who knows how many people are inside, and will tell you whether you can go in or not. So that's how they're managing. But I went to World of Disney, and it was absolutely fine. I don't know how they're handling things like if I pick up a keychain and cough on it and then put it back. Not that I did that, but like what would happen there? I don't know how they're doing any of that stuff. But everything else looked, they were sanitizing all the tables in the restaurants, social distance markers everywhere on the ground. Masks were being used everywhere. Temperature screenings were super easy and super fast. There was almost no inconvenience for any of it. It was absolutely fine. And the food was really good at Morimoto. They have a new octopus appetizer that was delicious.
Real quick, circling back to making dining reservations, somebody in the chat is asking how far down the road can you reserve? I guess
through July 10th.
Through July 10th, okay.
Yeah. So it's just now for the pre-opening period, and there's a special number to call for it too.
Right.
Which makes me wonder if then they'll either have another round where it's July 11th and on, or if they'll start handling those online like they normally do.
I'm hoping it's online. You saw the list of restaurants that were that the local food unions had put out, where.
I don't know if I trust that, though. They listed Fountain View and Epcot, which was definitely torn down.
And Electric Umbrella, which no longer exists. Yeah.
and I believe they listed both Liberty Inn and Regal Eagle on that list.
Regal Eagle, it's a union job. They're being safe. But did you notice that all of the buffets are switching to all-you-can-eat family style?
Yes.
All right, so think about this. Beer garden, but you have your own table, and someone brings you as much food as you want. Like I would pay extra for that. Where is this option on the dining plan? Like
I gotta say, sitting at a table with a liter of beer and a plate of unlimited sauerbraten, I'm okay there.
Right. Someone's bringing you the food and the beer at your own table with an Oompa band. Like, again,
so the entertainment.
Where is this on the dining plan?
The entertainment will be still part of beer garden.
I'm thinking the Oompa band is so you probably won't be able to dance, but I'm guessing the Oompa band will still be there. Yeah.
I would imagine they won't pull people out of the crowd like they used to, that kind of stuff. But I don't have to sit with other people I don't know. Which
right, exactly. Like that sounds not bad.
Speaking of that, I was browsing through this post. I was browsing through this post here, and they mentioned specifically that when they talk about Eat the Beat being canceled, that entertainment such as Mariachi Cobra and the Janitors will still be going on.
Yeah, but will you be able to sit and watch them?
It says they will spread out their performances throughout the day. So I don't know if they're going to move around more so that people can't necessarily set up, or if it's going to be like Universal has done with some of their shows, where they're going to have specific like standing areas.
Right.
And
Shanghai Disneyland did the same thing, and they placed markers on the ground, and so they have the band go to a predetermined spot. And
yeah, that makes sense. Again, I think in the next couple of weeks there's gonna be a lot of stuff that we're all gonna learn, and I expect it to evolve too, right? They're gonna figure out what works and what doesn't. So, yeah. But anyway, so not great news about the Halloween party, but I think for those of us who like food and wine and flower and garden, not bad news at all. Oh, pause for 1 second. I'm gonna show you the mask that one of our users sent us. What's that? Hold on.
I cannot wait to see this.
Yeah.
Seeing Len stand up and wearing basketball shorts kind of cracks me up.
All right, are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I went out for a run before this. Ready?
Oh, awesome. That's great.
I have it in 2 colors now. Yes, one of our Touring Plans liners, Patty, made them and sent them to me. Also has the built-in washable filter mask.
Oh.
And it's super nice. Yeah,
awesome.
Super excited. I was wearing it at Disney Springs yesterday, and I went to Ganache to get some chocolate with floral, and the cast member behind the counter was like, "Oh my god, I love your mask." I'm like, I know. All right. Anything else we need to talk about, guys?
Not yet. I guess.
Let's do this again tomorrow night, 9 o'clock.
For real. I should mention, I guess, while there are actually people watching, I guess I'm gonna start putting a lot of videos on our YouTube page pretty soon. We realized I video in bulk, and I had about, I don't know, a bunch of videos that I had never put out, and I kind of began to realize that they won't really apply once the parks reopen, because me just wandering through Fantasyland in crowds of people and nobody wearing masks is just going to look confusing after the parks open.
It'll be dated, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to hold them for like 2 years until they're not anymore. So basically every day until the parks open, I'm just going to put up a new video. So there'll be like 25 or so over the next 3 weeks that are going up. So anybody who wants to see random videos of me wandering around, Grand Destino Tower is going to be tomorrow's. So if you want to see what the NBA players are going to be staying at, check that out tomorrow. But so
subscribe and hit that little bell notification too, so you're notified when we put up new videos and live streams like this.
Awesome. All right, folks, thanks for very much for watching this. We will see you hopefully soon, maybe tomorrow, with some more park news. Until then, take care.
You got nothing else to do.
Exactly. Thanks, folks. See you.